Good evening. This is the WWE Raw review for January the 25th, 2016, and I'm gonna make this short and sweet. And I have to say, this Raw had the worst wrestling yet, and it also proves that the main event at WrestleMania is gonna be Triple H versus Roman Reigns. And why I say that is because Triple H won the WWE World Heavyweight title at Royal Rumble pay-per-view at number 30. So I'm guessing they're still going to continue this authority angle for a couple of years now. And also they're going to try to build up Roman Reigns even more. And Vince McMahon and Seth McMahon came out at the beginning of Raw talking about how Triple H won the WWE World Heavyweight title, how Roman Reigns is a beaten, broken man, all that. Just garbage. It's just rehashing of the corporation for years ago, and now it's still continuing with this. And then Triple H came out there with his suit and tie, and didn't have that title underneath his suit, and just disrobed himself and showing off the title, just like Vince McMahon did with the ECW title. That's garbage. Then they made an announcement that the wrestlers tonight are going to be watched by the authority, and if they oppress them, they might have a chance of facing Triple H at WrestleMania 30 with a little special match at Fastlane, which is going to be the next pay-per-view. Shit, this is garbage. The wrestling was crap. And then tonight was the Raw debut of AJ Styles. Even though AJ Styles was in the WWE years ago. I don't know, because I seen an episode of Velocity. But I guess they just want to ignore the past. And the one thing I don't get is, why are they calling themselves the big game in town? I mean, the only reason why that is because they are on nationwide. I mean, TNA was on nationwide when they went to Pop. But for some stupid reason, Comcast decided to remove Pop, Spike TV, and CMT from the digital starter package. And let's face it, the digital starter package is the most bought package from Comcast, because no one's want to pay more money for channels that they don't want. Now, digital starters, they buy these channels that are underneath 100. You would expect that channels underneath the hundreds would not be changed, but no, they decided to take those channels off for cost effectiveness, and I don't understand it. I mean, is the digital starter package going to be lower now? And if they're going to remove channels to cut costs, why won't they cut the channels off that you can probably see on the free TV on the digital converter boxes, like Bounce or Get TV? And I don't know why they decided on those channels. Those are the most popular channels that people watch. And Pop was starting to get some few more viewers now. They got some new shows, but now because of what Comcast did, it's probably kind of happened. Now people are being forced to buy their premium package, and which costs more, and people are can't pay their bills. They don't want to pay more for cable, and this is going to lead up to people just trying to find the next big thing, like internet television or something. I don't know. Let's see. And I'll just tell you about the matches. Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. It was a nice match. I mean, it was a nice performance from these two. And Kevin Owens won with pop-up powerbomb, but first match was nice. Then later on, the Social Outcast came out. Heath Slater, Bo Dallas, Chris Axel, and Rose. Oh God, I don't know. They just called out Flo Rida because they were in Miami and Flo Rida was in the crowd, and God, Bo Dallas challenged Flo Rida to a rap battle, which led up to a match between the Social Outcasts and the Dudley Boys. God. And at the very end of that match, Flo Rida was outside the ring taunting Heath Slater to hit him, but then the Dudley Boys took advantage and did the 3D on him for the win. Then next was the Raw debut of AJ Styles and versus Chris Jericho. So I guess Chris Jericho is the go-to guy to put guys over, even though Chris Jericho didn't put Neville over in the Tokyo, Japan WWE Network special. But no, they give AJ Styles the go-to, and the match was a subpar, not like the AJ Styles matches that we're used to in TNA or Ring of Honor or New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was just a 1/4 of AJ Styles. It is garbage. His moveset was garbage. His hairdo is garbage. He's like an arrogant son of a bitch. Like he talking about how he's finally made to the big leagues, and let's face it, WWE's not the big leagues. It's sports entertainment. It's not professional wrestling. The big leagues was New Japan and AAA and others, NWA. But I guess they want to lie to themselves more. Let them. And let's face it, AJ Styles won by a roll-up. He tried to do the Styles Clash, but he didn't. And I'm sick and tired of the goddamn crowd, because they just said this is awesome when he did a takedown. This is awful. That is not what a TNA fan, that's not what a wrestling fan does. It's just awful. The wrestling was terrible, and let's face it, I started, and all these chants are piped in. I'm starting because I didn't see the crowd act like they say this is awesome and this is awful. And the very end, AJ Styles and Chris Jericho shook hands. I could tell Chris Jericho was bitter about it because he knew that AJ Styles was garbage too, and thus killing his career even further. Because I would have thought that, Chris Jericho could go to any wrestling organization, but because of what he did with John Cena, it just kills him, and I could tell it kills him, especially that goddamn jacket. It is awful. God, it's awful what they did to Chris Jericho, what he did to himself. Then later on, we have Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. And last night, they did all the cheating to help Charlotte win the title back, but then Sasha Banks made her return in the Royal Rumble, taking out Becky Lynch and Charlotte. And so they had a nice battle between these two. But then then the match was thrown out because Charlotte attacked both, and this is awful. And what's the strangest thing is, these three are the only ones that are fighting for this title. No other divas are fighting for these belts, for that belt. No, you got Team Bad, act like they rule stuff. And then you had a Divas match between Natalia Paige versus Brie Bella and Alicia Fox. And this is the second time these two fought, because they fought last week. And so I guess they're going to continue this stupid Total Divas storyline. It's awful. Then later on during Raw, we heard that Nikki Bella had to go to surgery for her neck because she broke her neck, and now they're trying to fuse it to try to get her recovered. And I don't know, this might be the end of Nikki Bella or not. I don't know. Let's face it, the Divas division was somewhat better with Nikki Bella, but I would have thought that WWE would try to boost up Brie Bella, try to put her in the title position. I hope they do at the WrestleMania pay-per-view, but let's face it, they're going to continue this stupid fake Divas Revolution with these three girls, and hopefully Sasha Banks will become Divas champion. But the thing I don't get is why they keep ignoring the girls that never got the spot, that never got the opportunity to face for the Divas title, like Alicia Fox, Tamina, Natalia, Naomi. Those awful. And then there was a match between Bray Wyatt and Kane, and it's just I don't know, it's just a boring match. I mean, Bray Wyatt won because Luke Harper distracted Kane, and Kane delivered the Sister Abigail, and I just don't get it. I still wanted Bray Wyatt to win the Royal Rumble and become WWE World Heavyweight Champion, because after what they did to him with John Cena at WrestleMania, they damn sure better give him the title at WrestleMania or something, or at least let him win Money in the Bank. Once again, they underutilized Kane in this. I don't know why Kane's still there. And then guess who appeared on Monday Night Raw? The Rock. And that was the only part of Raw that I like, because they started a little trickery, because a limo came, we thought The Rock was in it, but then it turned out to be The Miz. He talked about 3 weeks. He was out for 3 weeks, and this is a better time to make his grand return. And then a pickup truck came, and everybody thought it was the Stone Cold Steve Austin, but then it was The Rock. They came out there. Then he started talking to people as he walked down from backstage to the ring. He met some people. Then he talked to the Big Show and talked about how in the Royal Rumble he won. He beat the Big Show in the Royal Rumble match, and all these good things came by. That came through him, like movie stars, all that. Then he saw Lana. They did their bit, talk about hotel shit, and Russo was there, so he moved on. And then it turned out to be like him versus and then it turned like a little bit of a segment between him and the New Day, and I don't want to go through all that, just silly crap. And then they talk about how they beat the Usos, and then he talked about the Rock wanted one of them to come in the ring and fight him, but then they decided not to. But then the Rock called out the Usos, and they started beating the crap out of them. Then the Rock did the Rock Bottom, and the Usos did their super kick, and then he did the People's Elbow on Xavier Woods, and that ended that segment. And then they had a match between Kalisto and The Miz. Kalisto won with the Salito del Sol. I mean, it was an alright match. Hopefully Kalisto will still be and I'm guessing it's going to be Alberto Real versus Kalisto at Fastlane for the title. Nothing major about that. Then in the final match, it was Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns versus Rusev and Sheamus. And okay, I have to say it was a lot better than I expected. And then after Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose won the match, they started attacking Rusev after what Rusev did to Reigns. He did a splash on Reigns on top of the table. So they got So Reigns and Rusev got on top of the French table that they just put out there for some fucking reason. And then they did the double power bomb on top of the U.S. announcement table. And then Stephanie McMahon came out there that she announced how they're going to decide on Triple H's opponent at WrestleMania. So at Fastlane, it's going to be a triple threat match between Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. And I have a little bit concerned because they talk about how the wrestlers that are involved tonight, will evolve to the match that will decide who's going to face Triple H. Brock Lesnar wasn't there. Although I was shocked that Brock Lesnar wasn't there, because I would have thought that, that Paul Heyman might come out there and talk about how they got screwed by the Authority, and I really wanted Brock Lesnar to just destroy stuff throughout the entire show. But, oh my god. But, people, do you realize that this match only confirms that Roman Reigns is going to face Triple H at the WrestleMania pay-per-view? That's why I say Dean was going to win. It's going to be against Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns is going to beat Brock Lesnar. Oh god, I just find this thing. This Raw was nothing but the set up Fastlane. Try to set up WrestleMania season. That was crappy wrestling. The only good part was The Rock. And I'm guessing next week they're going to announce who else is going to the Hall of Fame, and I still think that Sting shouldn't go into the Hall of Fame because he lost every match in the WWE. He lost to Triple H. He lost to Seth Rollins. I mean, if they had a WCW Hall of Fame, yeah, put him in there. I mean, there's a reason why he's in the TNA Hall of Fame, because he actually wrestled in TNA. And I hope that after WrestleMania he leaves and goes back to TNA, or probably start his own wrestling organization, because he can do that. Just like Booker T. Just like Tommy Dreamer. But it's just awful. This Raw was awful. Royal Rumble was awful, and hopefully it'll get better. Although there were some good spots in Raw. The Officer versus Kevin Owens was a good one. Kalisto versus The Miz was good. But after that, it was just awful. Because they got 3 hours, and it's just, damn. Hopefully it'll get better after this. With WrestleMania season, they're gonna bring out some old stars. Mama's gonna end it here, and hopefully that, by the grace of God, Comcast would get to the senses and bring back those 3 channels. And later on, I'm gonna do some topic shows, and I'm really going to talk about this. I'm going to try to research this Comcast and see what exactly did they get by doing this. And I guess I'll end it here. And I made some comments what you thought about Raw, your likes, dislikes, and try and see if I could do a SmackDown review or not. I don't know. And I'll talk to you guys later, and thanks and goodbye.